Here are the top stories for today, March 17, 2020. President Duterte visits checkpoints following the declaration of an enhanced community quarantine in Luzon. The University of the Philippines hails the medical interns of the Philippine General Hospital for their service amid the COVID-19 spread. The President vows to provide sufficient food supplies for the public while under community quarantine. And the Department of Health lists down countries whose travelers may bring COVID-19 to the country. Good day, I'm William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. Just hours after delivering his public address, President Rodrigo Duterte visited early Tuesday morning the stranded commuters at the Valenzuela-Meycauayan boundary in MacArthur Highway. The MacArthur Highway is just one of the many roads which were blocked with checkpoints after Duterte imposed an enhanced community quarantine until April 12 to restrict people's movement. Malls were also closed and mass transport systems suspended to contain the spread of the new coronavirus disease 2019. Reports showed that commuters were crowding at the checkpoint with few vehicles plying the streets. Duterte arrived between 4 and 5 a.m. and ordered the military and police to assist commuters affected by the enhanced community quarantine in passing the barricade. He also reminded all Filipinos of the collective responsibility of fighting the disease by preventing its spread, such as observing social distancing. President Duterte on Monday thanked doctors, nurses, and other health workers for attending to patients who tested positive for the coronavirus disease 2019. In a televised public address, Duterte directed the Department of Budget and Management and the Department of Health to find a way to best compensate health workers. Earlier, Senator Risa Ontiveros called for the grant of hazard pay to health workers, government employees, military and police, security personnel, service workers, and other frontliners in the government's efforts to contain the COVID-19 outbreak. Under the Magna Carta of Public Health Workers, doctors, nurses, and other health workers must receive an additional hazard pay, which can be as much as 25% of their monthly basic salary, depending on their pay grade. Health workers, peace and order officers, workers from night shift with valid IDs, and local government officers are exempted from the enhanced community quarantine, which will be in effect from March 17 until April 12. Since mass public transportation facilities will be suspended, Interior Secretary Eduardo Año assured health workers that local government units may provide them with transportation to take them to work. However, said public transport will be limited to restrict movement to the maximum. Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara urged the public to cooperate with the government's enhanced community quarantine for Luzon as he stressed that violators will face charges. Guevara said, considering the gravity of the present situation, authorities may file charges against violators under a number of laws such as the Quarantine Law of 2004 or RA 9271, the Mandatory Reporting of Noticeable Diseases and Health Events of Public Health Concern Act of 2018, RA 11332, and resistance and disobedience to a person in authority under the revised Penal Code. If the act is done with violence, Guevara said, more serious charges of direct assault may be filed against violators. The violation of the revised Penal Code provisions on direct assault, if found guilty, may be punishable with a minimum of 6 months imprisonment or a fine of up to 200,000 pesos. Disobedience is penalized with a prison term and fines of up to 100,000 pesos. Violations of Section 9 of RA 11332 on non-cooperation in the mandatory reporting of notifiable diseases is punishable by a fine of not more than 50,000 pesos or imprisonment of not more than 6 months. Similar penal provisions are also provided under the Quarantine Act. Guevara said these measures do not equate to martial law and that the government's additional precautionary measures are a limit to the spread of COVID-19. Meanwhile, the University of the Philippines lauded hundreds of medical interns who chose to stay at the Philippine General Hospital and attend to the needs of patients suspected of contracting the dreaded coronavirus disease. According to these students, they decided to stay in the hospitals and help the medical practitioners to augment to their manpower. Due to the overwhelming number of patients, they said they want to help the government to the extent of their capacities. UP Manila PGH assures these interns are under the supervision of doctors and health professionals. They are also given protective gear, complete meals, board and lodging, and standby medical care. The government responds to the return of bird flu in the country, and more aid is allotted to combat the coronavirus disease. Laid Kabagani has the story.
The government says it will be ready to respond to the return of bird flu in the country, just like it did with the Taal volcano eruption, the African swine fever ASF outbreak, the coronavirus disease, and other crises. The Department of Agriculture learned of the resurgence of the bird virus after the Provincial Veterinary Office of Nueva Ecija received reports of increased mortalities of 1,500 out of 15,000 quails in one farm in Barangay Ulanin, Pitak, in Nueva Ecija last week. Currently, a total of 12,000 quails have been surgically stomped out, noting that cleaning and disinfection procedures were implemented accordingly. The DA has also established animal quarantine checkpoints to restrict the movement of all live domestic birds to and from 1 kilometer radius quarantine area. In other news, the Department of Labor and Employment has earmarked 2 billion pesos to help assist workers affected by the outbreak of COVID-19. Aside from monetary assistance, the affected workers will also be offered emergency employment under Tulong Pangkabuhayan para sa Displaced Workers or TUPAD program. They will also be compensated for the 14-day quarantine if they have no more leave credits. Meanwhile, the Philippine Red Cross on Monday distributed 20,000 face masks and 2,000 personal protective equipment to health workers of the Philippine General Hospital and other medical centers. PRC Chief and Senator Richard Gordon said the equipment will be enough for the next 36 days. Gordon said this is to ensure that the frontliners who have direct contact with the infected patients are well protected. Red Cross previously sent 5,000 face masks to the government agencies such as the Department of Foreign Affairs and the Bureau of Customs. Aside from Red Cross, SM Group of companies also expressed its willingness to help by allotting 100 million pesos to buy COVID-19 testing kits and equipment for healthcare workers in public hospitals. SM said it had also been working with both PGH and RITM to see how to expand laboratory testing capacity. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Laid Kabagani.
Still to come, the President vows to provide sufficient food supplies for the public while under community quarantine. Davao de Oro declares a state of calamity due to the spread of COVID-19. More on these when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Sa matinding laban natin sa Coronavirus Disease 2019, sugpuin din natin ang pagkalat ng fake news. Huwag magbahagi ng impormasyon na hindi tiyak ang pinagmulan. I-check mabuti ang source ng balita. Kumuha lamang ng impormasyon mula sa mga official channel ng Department of Health. Huwag magpadala sa maling balita, basta't sama-sama at laging handa. Kaya natin to. Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito. Tandaan ang tamang paraan ng paghuhugas at paglilinis ng kamay upang makaiwas sa iba't ibang karamdaman. Basain ng tubig ang mga kamay at sabunin. Unang sabunin ang mga palad at ang likod ng mga kamay. Kuskusin na maigi ang pagitan ng mga daliri at maging ang mga kuko. Isunod ang pagitan ng mga hinlalaki at kuskusin ng paikot ang mga dulo ng mga daliri sa magkabilang palad. Banlawang mabuti ang mga kamay sa malinis na tubig at patuyuin ang mga kamay gamit ang single-use towel o air dryer. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito. Pangalagaan ang sarili laban sa Coronavirus Disease 2019 hanggat maaari umiwas sa mataong lugar. Iwasang hawakan ang ilong at bibig, maging malinis sa katawan at ugaliin ang wastong paghuhugas ng kamay. Takpan ang ilong at bibig kung uubo o babahing. Umiwas sa mga taong nagpapakita ng sintomas ng coronavirus disease gaya ng lagnat, ubo at sipon. Magsuot ng face mask kung kinakailangan. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa. Kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito.
President Rodrigo Duterte vowed to provide the public with sufficient food supplies after placing the entire of Luzon under enhanced community quarantine on Monday. In a televised public address, he asked Social Welfare Secretary Rolando Joselito Bautista to order the distribution of food packages in communities amid reports of panic buying and hoarding of basic goods. He said local government executives starting from barangay officials who fail to provide communities with food will be liable for dereliction of duty. He also bared that food conglomerates also promised to provide sufficient food. Meanwhile, he also urged local government executives to come up with their own measures to minimize the risk of contracting COVID-19. The enhanced community quarantine in Luzon will be in effect until April 12, coinciding with the entire end of the Holy Week. And in our business news, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas has urged banks to provide financial relief to their clients and employees as the country copes with the COVID-19 pandemic. The BSP also strongly encouraged its supervised financial institutions to temporarily suspend all fees and charges imposed on e-banking and electronic money, including InstaPay or PesoNet electronic fund transfer. BSP Governor Benjamin Diokno on Monday said these measures will enable the general public to facilitate banking transactions during the COVID-19 situation. Banks may extend financial assistance to their personnel who are affected by the COVID-19. He said the BSP has available regulatory relief for banks that will provide assistance to their employees. Banks that are under rehabilitation programs may be given a moratorium on their monthly payments that are due to the BSP. These measures aim to encourage BSP-supervised financial institutions to grant a temporary grace period for loan payments or restructure loan accounts of their borrowers. Davao de Oro province has been placed under a state of calamity following its first confirmed case of COVID-19. Governor Tyrone Uy approved the recommendation of the Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office. This also follows the public health emergency declared by the national government due to COVID-19 and its effects in the province, from which came the first confirmed case of the disease in Region 11. Meantime, the Department of Health Region 11 confirmed that the 21-year-old coronavirus patient being treated at the Davao Regional Medical Center is in good condition. The provincial government of Negros Occidental has canceled this year's Panaad Festival to prevent the spread of COVID-19. More on this and other news from the provinces from Ruth Abby Gita Carlos.
The Negros Occidental Provincial Government has cancelled the staging of the 27th Panaad sa Negros Festival on April 20 to 26 amid the 2019 coronavirus disease threat. The top provincial officials and the local chief executives unanimously agreed to cancel this year's festival despite the initial preparations. Organizers also announced the cancellation in a statement posted on the official Facebook page of the Panaad sa Negros Festival 2020. In Cebu, Governor Gwendolyn Garcia on Monday warned retail establishments in Cebu that have reportedly jacked up the price of their rice amid the public health emergency situation in the country. Garcia specifically mentioned the town of Barili and the city of Carcar in southern Cebu, where overpricing of rice supply was reported. She said the Department of Trade and Industry has imposed price ceiling for essential commodities and the Department of Agriculture is doing the same for the rice supply. In Pangasinan, the city government of Dagupan placed checkpoints at the 11 entry and exit points since Monday as part of precautionary measures against COVID-19. With this, the city's Public Information Office encouraged people to just stay home if the purpose of coming to Dagupan is not essential. Earlier, Mayor Mark Brian Lim also announced the postponement until further notice of the much-awaited Bangus Festival 2020. As of 10 a.m. Monday, Dagupan City remains COVID-19 free. Meanwhile, the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry Eastern Visayas chapter has agreed on several efforts to fight the virus and assist their workers during the crisis. Business owners will work on preventing employees in the workplace from contracting the deadly virus. Businessmen also agreed to provide masks and vitamins to employees. Infected employees are assured of financial assistance from their employers until they get well. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Ruth Abby Gita Carlos.
Up next, the Department of Health lists down countries whose travelers may bring COVID-19 to the country. And Manilla Water vows to provide uninterrupted water services during the quarantine. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders.
Alamin kung paano ang tamang pagsusuot ng surgical mask. Una, hawakan ang mask sa strap at siguruhing natatakpan nito ang inyong bibig at ilong. Tandaan, ang may kulay na bahagi ng mask ang dapat nasa labas. Ito lamang ang tamang paraan ng pagsuot nito. Ihulma ang nose piece o maliit na metallic strip ayon sa hugis ng inyong ilong. Iwasan ang paghawak sa inyong ilong at bibig. Kung marumi na ang mask, hubarin ito gamit ang strap at itapon ito sa isang basurahan. Siguruhin ang maayos na paghuhugas ng kamay gamit ang sabon at tubig. Ang surgical mask ay dapat gamitin ng mga pasyenteng may sakit sa baga o mga taong mayroong ubo, sipon at lagnat, mga nag-aalaga sa mga may sakit, at mga healthcare at frontline workers. Maaari ring magsuot nito kung kayo ay pupunta sa matataong lugar. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP, at ng himpilang ito. Alamin ang tamang paraan ng pag-ubo upang mapigilan ang paglaganap ng Coronavirus Disease 2019. Ugaliing magdala ng panyo o tissue. Kung uubo o babahing, takpan ang buong ilong at bibig gamit ang panyo o tissue. Kung walang dalang panyo o tissue, maaaring gamitin ang braso na pantakip. Kung nakararamdam na kailangan umubo o bumahing, agad na dumistansya sa mga tao sa paligid. Huwag dumura kung saan-saan, gumamit ng tissue at itapon sa basurahan. Ugaliin ang paghuhugas ng kamay at paggamit ng alcohol o hand sanitizer upang mamatay ang mikrobyo. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP, at ng himpilang ito. Alamin ang mga dapat gawin sa lugar ng trabaho laban sa Coronavirus Disease 2019. Ang mga kumpanya ay dapat magbigay ng face mask sa kanilang mga empleyado. Bukod dito, magbigay kaalaman din patungkol sa COVID-19. Siguraduhin malinis ang kapaligiran. Maglagay ng sabon at hand sanitizer sa mga palikuran. Siguraduhin ligtas at nalutong maigi ang mga pagkain sa kantina. Obserbahan ang kalusugan ng mga empleyado at katrabaho. Kung sakali man na mayroon silang sintomas ng coronavirus disease, gaya ng lagnat, ubot sipon at hirap sa paghinga, ay agad ipasuri sa doktor. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP, at ng himpilang ito.
The Department of Health has listed 14 countries with a high risk of importing coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19 to the Philippines. Health Secretary Francisco Duque III included South Korea, Singapore, Australia, China, Malaysia, Japan, Spain, Italy, France, the United Kingdom, Sweden, Belgium, Germany, and the United States of America in the list of countries for triage of travelers at different ports of entry. Duque directed the Bureau of Quarantine to regularly update and disseminate a memorandum circular through the list. The circular shall be issued by the BOQ every noon of Wednesday and shall take effect every 6 a.m. of the following day. The DOH has adopted an algorithm for triage of patients who might be showing symptoms of COVID-19. The symptoms are fever and dry cough, fatigue, difficulty breathing, and in serious cases, diarrhea. Manilla Water vows to ensure it will provide uninterrupted water services amid the enhanced community quarantine enforced in Metro Manila. In an advisory from Jaime Augusto Zabel de Ayala, the Ayala Group of companies is working on ways to continue providing services including telecommunications, cash availability, and access to clinics and pharmacies. The group has implemented flexible work arrangements for its workforce as well as the employers of service partners. It said this is to ensure the continuous delivery of critical services and to support customers during this time of crisis. In sports, the ASEAN Para Games, which the Philippines will host as part of the 2019 Southeast Asian Games, has been postponed anew as the world battles the deadly coronavirus disease 2019. On Monday night, the ASEAN Para Sports Federation rescheduled the meet, which was supposed to start next week from October 3rd to 9. The APSF board, however, said the new schedule is not yet final as the period was proposed with conditions that the COVID-19 pandemic is put under control and no longer a threat. The board agreed to convene another meeting at the end of July 2020 to assess the COVID-19 situation before confirming and proceeding with the proposed new dates for the Games. Initially scheduled for January, the ASEAN Para Games was moved to March due to COVID-19. And here's the latest in our community billboard. The Philippine Coast Guard reminds all travelers that all trips of passengers and ro-ro vessels to and from any points of Bicol region are now suspended until further notice. Cargo vessels containing food supplies, medicines, water, and other basic supplies are the only ones allowed to operate. Meanwhile, Davao Oriental has closed down all its ecotourism sites as a preventive measure against COVID-19. Other tourism-related activities such as tours, site visits, beach outings, and parties are also prohibited. Here's another look at today's biggest stories. President Duterte visits checkpoints following the declaration of an enhanced community quarantine in Luzon. The University of the Philippines hails the medical interns of the Philippine General Hospital for their service amid the COVID-19 spread. The president vows to provide sufficient food supplies for the public while under community quarantine. And the Department of Health lists down countries whose travelers may bring COVID-19 to the country. Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. To check out more news content, check our webpage or head onto the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. For more stories about the government and how it serves Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. We are shown on the pages of the PCOO and its attached agencies. Also, watch us on television on PTV4 and IBC 13. And as the whole world faces the dreaded COVID-19 virus, I basically advise everybody, regardless of age, religion, or principles in life, we are fighting the same war. More than anything else, now is the time for us to unite under one cause. Let us cooperate so that we may alleviate these challenges in the soonest amount of time. And that's your daily dose of the biggest stories that you need to know. From the PNA Newsroom, I am William Theo. Good day.